Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Jupiter's CROCK. My name is Matthew. Joining me tonight on time is Ronan.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are getting upset about. Every other episode, I am consistently here on time. You know,
No, I think you're becoming more and more Rachel-like as we do this show. We've had to
No, Ronan, your idea of
Yeah.
being on time. Well, first of all, last week you were 15 minutes late, but even when you are here on time, air quotes, your idea of being on time is you turn on your PlayStation and say hi to everyone at 7 when we record, and then you leave to go do something for 10 minutes and then come back.
When have I ever signed on? This whole episode is just tanked right now. When have I ever signed on? Be like, hey, yeah, cool, I'm here. I'm going to disappear for 15 minutes at the very
You
start.
do it all the time. You're like, oh, I got to let Frankie out. I got to do this other thing.
Yeah, I do that when we're done with episodes. Like when we finish this.
Not.
When we finish up this one, I'm going to be like, I have to let the puppy out.
One of the big things that you do, Ronan, like normally in a social compact that we have, where we're like, okay, we're recording at 7 o'clock. You don't actually like turn on your PlayStation until literally 7 o'clock. So there's minutes and minutes while we have to wait. While you're, oh, geez, I didn't get the updates. Let me do all the updates and all of this stuff over and over and over. We need to be ready at 7. So like Steve and I. We agree with the social compact. We jump on early, we make sure everything is updated, and then we're ready to go at 7. We are always waiting on you. Never used to be that way, Ronan, but for some reason, something has happened in the past 6 months.
The Rachel got into you.
You've been infected with the Rachel. Ever since you met Rachel, you have now become consistently late to everything we do.
It's almost like I have a job that, in the summertime, keeps one out at later times than normal, in order to keep people cool and comfortable.
Well,
it's almost like
that's a you problem. You made that choice.
That's what happened.
You made that choice. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about episode 7, Sacramentum, of Spartacus Season 2, Vengeance. Last episode we all agreed was pretty dope. We're very excited to hear Spartacus recap this one. So take it away, Spartacus.
All right. Well, the gladiators are going to free slaves in Neapolis. Remember, last episode they recognized that the house slaves are never going to become an army, and so they need to free warriors. And so they are going to Neapolis, and they are going to liberate a ship full of captured soldiers that were going to be sold off as slaves. And because they were captured by Romans and enslaved, presumably they're going to be very hyped to join Spartacus's cause. And so they attack a ship, and Lucius is pretending to be a slave purchaser, and so he wants to go and examine the wares. And when we get down into the belly of this ship, and all of the warrior slaves are in prison, Agron starts speaking, I assume German, but I don't actually know. He begins speaking not English to the rest of these slaves, and basically tells them, like, hey, I'm one of you. Like, what nationality is their heritage? Is Agron?
I can't remember. Honestly,
they just say like east of the Rhine.
The lands east of the Rhine, that is Germany. Which, bizarrely enough, Gallia, that's also Germany. So,
all right, well, we're just gonna call him German. So Agron begins speaking German to the slaves. He's like, hey, I'm here to rescue you. I'm one of your brothers. And this slave is like, oh, by the way, that guard over there also speaks German. And so Agron completely botches the plan, and so the gladiators have to go into action. They of course win, and so they kill all of the Romans, free all of the German slaves, and then Spartacus is like, that's really convenient. This ship was full of your people, right? And Agron's like, oh, no, it's fine, dude. It's fine. It'll be totally cool.
It's fucking cool. It's great. And then he plays his hand too much. We never have to listen to a fucking Gaul again. Important note to mention, we joked about how there's like 4 gladiators left. We're not really joking about that because apparently, Crixus's massive horde of Gauls that we saw in the very first episode of Season 2.
Seems like he's got like 3 people left.
I don't think he has any of his boys left. He is the lone Gaul at this point. He's got nobody with him except for Navia.
I don't know.
No,
well,
he's got more. He's got people.
Yeah,
he just doesn't have Rascos anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know. You don't see them.
Yeah, like
They're
they
just
keep
in the background.
talking like, you know, Crixus leads this group of Gauls, but yeah, none of the remaining Gauls really have names, and so they don't actually do anything in these episodes. But now Spartacus is kind of in the middle. Like Crixus has his men, and now Agron essentially has his own private group because they all speak German, and no one else does. And so Spartacus is stuck in the middle. He's going to figure out how to navigate all this. Glaber officially takes over Seppius's army. Remember in last episode, Glaber assassinated Seppius, and the public story is that the Seppius's slaves rebelled against Seppius, killed Seppius, killed all of those people, and then fled to join Spartacus. And so that's the public story being put out there. Glaber conscripts all of Seppius's men, so now Glaber has one giant army. We also see Glaber out in the fucking marketplace, and he relays the story about what happened to Seppius, and basically says, you know what, Seppius's slaves revolted. From here forth, any slave that even mentions the name Spartacus, we're gonna fucking kill him. Even if one of those slaves, hypothetically, is, you know, like, close to home. Alethea, I heard your slave talking a little Spartacus-y the other day, right? Crucify her. And so, now Alethea has treated her like personal slaves like shit the entire series. So I didn't like really understand this, or why Alethea cared. But Glaber crucifies one of Alethea's slaves like just to fuck with Alethea, and Alethea knows this, and Glaber forces her to like be complicit in this because Glaber tells her like, your slave was disobeying and talking about Spartacus, right?
And Xena's telling her, you
wink.
gotta do it.
And Xena's like, yeah, you gotta do it, you gotta do it. And so Alethea condemns her private slave to death. As Gannicus watches on, Gannicus has left the Spartacus group, and he goes to Mercado to say, hey, I'm just here for payment for my job in the arena. And Mercado's like, you shitting me? You failed at every part of your job in the arena. The arena's not even goddamn there anymore. And only one of Spartacus's men died, and you're not the one that killed him. And Gannicus is like, yeah, please, just give me a little bit of money. I need something. And so Mercado gives him, like, I don't know, $6. And just sends him on his way. And then Mercado... Yes, and then Gannicus says, wait, please, I'm not done yet. And Mercado is, like, getting tired of Gannicus at this point, because Gannicus says, I lost my Rudis. Can you please help me give me my Rudis back? And Mercado's like, look, I'm fucking tired of your shit. Go talk to Glaber. And that's when Gannicus goes and to notice that that Glaber is now crucifying any and all slaves that happen to mention the name Spartacus. Later on, Gannicus is called to.
Remember, Gannicus and Asher make eyes during that scene too. Like Asher sees him in the crowd.
Yes. Gives him the Asher smile.
Yeah. I don't remember the exact order, but Gannicus is told, "Hey, come meet with Glaber," and so Glaber offers Gannicus back his Rudis, and Gannicus takes it, but Glaber wants Gannicus to join his army. And Gannicus is not interested, but Glaber says, I'll give you a couple days to think about it. And Gannicus leaves, and then Glaber tells Asher, crucify him if he tries to leave the city. So Glaber's just handing out crucifixions at this point. Like, you get crucified, and you get crucified, and you get crucified. Everybody gets crucified.
This was the Roman way. They did enjoy a good, wholesome crucifixion.
Before this, though, because I got these out of order. Before this, Gannicus goes back to the brothel that he was at a couple of episodes ago, and he runs into the same brothel
Woman of the
that
night?
he had sex with. And this woman starts telling Gannicus, hey, I'll give you a freebie if we can talk about Spartacus for a little bit. And Gannicus is like, stop fucking talking about Spartacus, shit's gonna go wrong. And then Asher shows up and is like, yeah, she's hot.
That's the important thing about that scene, though, because her talking to him about Spartacus is establishing that the legend of Spartacus is now spreading amongst slaves all over the place. Like, it's even in brothels. They're like, hey, we're going to join up. We're thinking about, like, joining up with Spartacus. And that's what's making Gannicus go like, what the fuck? Like, you're going to die just like all of them are going to die. Don't talk about it. But that's her important part of this whole thing, is to set up, like, the legend of Spartacus is growing now. The word is out.
Yes,
that is what happened. Like a lot of house slaves and stuff would just leave and like try to join up with Spartacus's army. He took anybody, like for the most part, like historically speaking, he would just pretty much take anyone unless you were slaves. Like he did not take slaves in the to like Roman forces because he didn't trust them.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Asher meets with Gannicus and is they kind of have a little back and forth, and Asher basically, tells Gannicus that without your Rudis, you're basically still just a slave. So you should really come and see what Glaber has to say. And then, Glaber says, "Join my army, or I'll crucify you." Which of course, Gannicus doesn't maybe know that second part. But that's where we're at with Gannicus at this point. Asher is out being a fucking creeper again. He continues to assault Xena and starts telling her that I know you like this. He's real fucking creepy. And then he does possibly like
the dumbest
the one dumb thing that Asher does the entire series. He admits to Xena that basically he has been robbing all of the people that he's been sent out to murder. And so he's got this like little treasure chest full of knickknacks that he's acquired, and he is planning on basically, starting the House of Asher once he basically wins whatever his end game is.
Does he think that he's going to become a freed man? Because that's the thing. Like
so,
when he's talking to Gannicus, and he's like, "Man, you're nothing without this thing," and I'm just sitting here thinking, why doesn't Gannicus say like, "Well, what are you? You don't have one of these either. You're still a slave. You're nothing more than a slave." Even though you got this,
I think Asher expects to be free by the end of this.
They don't really set that up as that's what his expectation is.
Because maybe I'm jumping ahead, or maybe I'm making this up, but doesn't he intend to take over the Ludus at some point? Am I?
Yeah, that's like at the end of towards the end of the series. Yeah, this is kind of spoilery, but towards the end of like this season, let me rephrase that. He is given okay, well, once we kill them, I will reward you with the Ludus, and yeah, like that is he's been told that's what's going to happen. Now we'll find out later on.
Yeah, I think he's planning on being free or having a great degree of autonomy at the end of this. But anyways, he admits to Xena that he's basically been robbing his murder victims, and then he gives Xena a wig. Because Xena wears the different colored wigs throughout the series, and he gives her a red wig because he knew that Badiatus liked that color on her, and he wants to be able to look up at Xena on the Pulvinus, and she's wearing her hot red wig, and Asher wants to know that she belongs to him. He's incredibly fucking creepy. Asher, knock it off.
I mean, that's what villains do. You're not supposed to enjoy seeing him do what he do.
Well,
although we do.
He literally tells Xena, he's like, "Oh, I felt your thighs quiver a little bit there. You must be enjoying my cock inside you." I'm just like, "Oh."
I thought I felt a little bit
of that.
I thought I felt a little bit of movement from your hips. It's like, wow, Jesus fucking Christ.
Like that's all it takes to make Asher think that you're into it. Anyways, Xena is hating life right now, and so is Alithia, so they continue to basically...
can I mention something real quick? I forgot in the last episode. These two episodes in particular are what I love about this show, because it takes people who are like, they have all the power, and then just brings them down to nothing and then eventually they go back to having all the power that they did before. I just seeing like Xena and Alithia in this, these two like super conniving, powerful characters. They're like nothing right now. They are essentially slaves. Even though they're not considered slaves, they have to do whatever, Xena has to do whatever Asher wants. She has essentially taken the role of his slave, and Alithia's got like nothing at all anymore. She's basically just like, my life is over. I'm, what can I do here? I have zero power. And I love how the show takes those elements and just like constant movement of who's got the power and control through all of these different characters, and these two episodes really highlight that.
Yep, 100%. So let's, because this is another episode where I think the Glabber side of things plays a much bigger role in the story. So before we, since Glabber and Alithia and that crew are the main focus of the episode, let's cover what's going on with Spartacus at this point, because he has freed all of the... I need to start folding these fucking hands. He's freed all of the German slaves, so now Agron has the Agron force, and no one's happy about this. Especially not Crixus, because Crixus knows that...
Because he ain't got no Gauls anymore!
No, they're just hiding. Like, Crixus has a small Gaul army, like, off-screen, like, off to the left in every scene that you can't see. But Crixus even mentions, like, when Agron comes back with this group of German soon-to-be gladiators, Crixus says to Spartacus, like, who are they going to follow? Implying, are they going to follow Agron, or are they going to join Spartacus's cause? And Spartacus doesn't really have an answer for that. But he calls out Agron again at one point. He asks Agron, how many other ships were there that we could have... We could have, liberated. And Agron said, well, there were two others. And Spartacus is like, oh yeah, it's convenient that you didn't fucking mention that. And Agron tells him, well, there was one group of slaves from like, a nationality that I don't remember, but Agron didn't think highly of them. And then the other ship was like another ship full of Gauls. And Agron was like, absolutely not to the Gauls. I'm not going to give Crixus an even bigger force. And so, Agron's like, yeah, I rescued my people.
I swear, bro, they'll follow. They'll be controllable.
They will be useful to you. They will be, a boon to our cause. You have my word. And so that's kind of where things are resting now. No one's happy about this. But, what choice does Spartacus have? Like, Spartacus tries to find the silver lining. It's like, hey, we doubled our forces in a day. Let's take the wins where we can.
Yeah, Crixus is like, you're fucking idiot. Hashtag Crixus was right. Throwing that out there.
I mean, most of these people end up not being pieces of shit.
No, I don't believe they. No,
they are only not pieces of shit because Spartacus chops one guy's head in half. That's the only reason they're not
there yet. Spoilers.
God damn it.
Anyways, Spartacus says, well, I want to kind of see what's going on with these guys for myself. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to take them all out hunting. By the way, tell everyone that speaks English to speak fucking English. But tomorrow, we're going out hunting. And so Spartacus wakes up the next day, is like, oh man, can't wait for a full day of hunting. And it turns out Agron woke up early and took everyone out without them.
The guy is destroying Steve.
Yeah, I have. See, this is like I normally win these games when we're just playing poker for fun. This is how you guys are slowly getting all of my money, by making me explain all this shit.
Keep going, Ploticus. Keep going.
Anyways, that's like the fourth time I've busted out. Spartacus is very fucking pissed because he goes out into the woods and finds Agron and all of the Germans and tells Agron, it's like, I told you that I was going out hunting with them. And Agron's like, I don't think too much about it. Like, we woke up early and they wanted to make the most of their newfound freedom. And so everyone is angry at Agron and the Germans at this point. But everyone, they caught food. And so everyone's like giving them a break. There's kind of a party. They got
alcohol too because they went to the road when they weren't supposed to.
Oh yeah, they attacked Romans on the road, and Spartacus is like, you are going to get us all fucking killed. You're attracting attention that we don't need. Again, Agron kind of just plays it off, and ultimately, like, nothing comes of that. At least not right now. So they're back at the temple. The gladiators and the Germans they're partying, and then this giant motherfucker named like Sedulus, he goes and attempts to assault Navia, and Agron puts a stop to this, which makes Sedulus go start fighting Agron. And at first, everyone just thinks like it's like a bar fight type environment.
Crixus is watching it, and he's got the big smile. He's like, yeah, fuck
they're
him
fucking
up.
killing each other. And then Crixus, or Navia just says the name Crixus, and looks over at Navia, and Navia's face is bleeding, and she says it was Sedulus. And so Crixus goes and jumps on Sedulus.
Berserker mode.
Yes, Berserker Rage. And when Crixus attacks Sedulus, it stops being like, kind of the bro fight that everyone thought it was, and it's the Gauls versus the Germans, and so it becomes this giant, massive brawl. And Spartacus comes out and starts getting into it because he is fucking pissed. Like, he is doing his best to keep everyone together, and like the fucking other people are not doing a good job with this. And so Spartacus ends up in a sword fight with Sedulus, and he cuts his face off, not his head. He cuts his face, like, start at the
Right
chin
the jaw.
and then cut upward. And so Sedulus, missing the front half of his head, falls over dead, and Spartacus starts yelling at people. He is fucking pissed off, and tells them, like, look, if you are not on board with my cause, you need to fucking leave, because if you stay, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then Agron tells everyone, like, I stand with Spartacus, I'm on his side, and I don't count any of you as my brothers unless you're with me. And this guy named Lugo, who is also one of the newly captured German, I guess he was going to be a slave, but now one of the German fighters, he grabs a sword and shield, and he swears himself to Spartacus's cause, and all of the other newly freed Germans follow suit. And so, at the moment, Spartacus has a mostly unified fighting force. So any part of the Spartacus side of things that I missed?
The Lugo guy, he follows Spartacus because he says something like, any man who could take out Sedulus is a man.
He's a great warrior.
Yeah.
I will
Lugo
follow.
is awesome.
Glonk, glonk.
Yeah. And they all get
Lugo
on their
becomes
knees.
like one of my favorites throughout the rest of the series. He's fucking great.
Yeah, so like not spoilery, but like just for everyone knows, he makes it into the next season.
Yeah, and he's awesome. Lugo's awesome. So anyways, Spartacus, for the most part...
Onimaeus wakes up.
but he doesn't really do anything.
He wakes up, Lugo, like while they're partying, Lugo and his women go up to Onimaeus, and he's like trying to sing songs, and like Onimaeus is like, I don't share your talk. Like, Lugo will teach, stand up, dark skin brother. And
everyone's very happy. This is when Crixus says, we're going to kick some ass with you on our side, Onimaeus.
Yeah, Spartacus tries to get Onimaeus to basically become Doctoria again and train everyone. I think Onimaeus is on board with it. But Onimaeus doesn't do a lot besides wake up in this episode, but he is up and about.
He does some fighting. He kicks some ass in that sequence. You see him.
I mean, as he and Spartacus, he walks downstairs when the big fight's going on and punches a few people, but he doesn't do much.
This
is
true.
Just on death's door.
Agreed?
Give him a fucking
no,
break. He's on death's door. He gets up and knocks out like 4 of those.
Matt is drawing this out.
No. He does some stuff. He does some shit. Anyway,
false lies. Anyways, so what's going on back with Glaber and Xena and Ilithia and whatnot? They've invited Sepia or Glaber has invited Sepia to stay in the house because he now likes this 12-year-old. And so Ilithia, like Glaber is just openly flirting with Ilithia or flirting with Sepia in front of Ilithia. He gives no shits, and Ilithia even tells Xena, it's like, I thought Glaber was this weakling, I thought like he would not be a threat at all, and now he is a fucking monster. Like, I am in danger. I was wrong to like incur his wrath. And Xena basically comes with a plan, because Alithia is like highly suicidal at this point, and Xena comes up with a plan to get them both out of there, because Xena doesn't want to be with Asher anymore, and Alithia wants to get away from Glaber, and so Xena says, we've been forsaken by the gods, they demand blood, and she cuts her wrist, and for a second it looks like it's going to be like a suicide pact, like they're both gonna kill themselves and be free, but instead she takes her bloody wrist and smears it all over Alithia's crotch, because then Alithia goes to Glaber, and she looks like she's been bleeding from between her legs, and then Xena goes up and says, "Oh, this is a sign from the gods." And Glaber's like, "Whoa, what's the sign mean?" Alithia has to go back to Rome. It's all of the foul air and danger of this place is bad for the baby. She should go back to Rome. And Glaber's like, "All right, I'm going to send you back to Rome." And Xena says, "I'm going to go too, because I'm her friend." And Asher's like, no. Xena is too valuable as basically like a symbol.
A prop.
If we, it would be better if Xena stays here so that we can continue to like trot her out in the marketplace to put people at ease. And Glaber's like, "Oh yeah, good idea. Wise counsel." So Glaber is like trusting Asher at this point. Like Asher has proven himself valuable to Glaber. And so now Alithia and Xena are going to be split up, and they are not happy about this. Alithia is at least supposedly going to go to Rome and be safe. So let's go back to Gannicus. Gannicus has been told, join Glaber's army. There totally won't be any consequences if you don't join Glaber's army, but join Glaber's army. And so Gannicus is walking around the marketplace again, and the brothel woman that he'd had sex with in the previous episode, and who talked to him about Spartacus in this episode, she's been crucified. And so this is like another, just kind of another blow to Gannicus. Like, people are suffering because of this war. And Xena finds him and basically tells him, like, look, Glaber has gone too far. Like, we cannot stop Glaber, so Alithia is very soon going to be sent back to Rome. And when she goes back to Rome, half of Glaber's men are going with her to protect her, because Glaber wants his heir. He wants Alithia's baby, and so like half of the people that Glaber keeps at the Ludus will be gone. And so here's the plan. I can tell that you're not happy about this war. The way to end it is to stop Glaber. So when half of Glaber's people leave, I will distract the other half. You sneak in, kill Glaber, and then that will be the end of it. Like, Spartacus wants vengeance on Glaber specifically. If Glaber is dead, Spartacus will just kind of wander away from Rome, and that will be the end of this. And Gannicus is like, "Are you fucking crazy? Like, what the shit?"
That is the accurate response to have to some crazy bullshit like that.
Yeah. So Xena thinks that Gannicus is going to assassinate Glaber, and because she can tell that Gannicus just wants this war to end, because a bunch of people are dying, and there's just fucking chaos everywhere. And so on the night that Alithia is going to get sent back to Rome,
oh my God,
Jesus fucking Christ!
What the fuck?
Wow. On the day that on the day that Alithia is going to be sent back to Rome, Xena tells Alithia about this plan, and tells her, hey, Gannicus is going to show up tonight to kill Glaber, and then I'm going to kill Gannicus, and that will just, tie up everything in a pretty little bow, and everything will be finished. And so Alithia goes to Glaber to say goodbye, and for a moment it looks like Xena's worried that Alithia is going to out her.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen. Instead, Xena or Alithia just says, "Oh, Glaber, I'm going to miss you." And of course, Glaber has no idea, the actual meaning of this statement. Oh shit! I finally won a hand.
Well done.
But Alithia gets in the cart and goes away. Later that night, Glaber is asleep, and you see this like shadowy figure kind of hover over him. And for a moment, you might think, okay, this is Gannicus. Gannicus has come to kill him, but no, it's actually Sepia. The two of them fuck. And during the middle of them fucking, the Glaber's guy that got the shit kicked out of him by Asher last episode interrupts them and says, "Hey, come quick, something's happened." And they go out to find Alithia's cart. And all of the Roman soldiers protecting it are dead. Alithia's gone, and we see flashbacks.
They're not
Gannicus
just
attacked
dead,
the cart.
Steve. They are chopped into
parts
little
of them.
pieces.
Their fucking like intestines are hanging out.
Their
There's an
arms and
arm
legs are
over
gone.
here, a
They're
leg
chopped up.
there.
Gannicus went
Someone
full psycho.
went into a fucking blood rage. But Gannicus, for reasons that won't be clear until the next episode, Gannicus has decided to kidnap Alithia, and that is where we end.
It's a logic that makes sense only to Gannicus.
I mean, it mostly makes sense when we learn what his plan is. But anyways, Matt, Ronan, take it away. What are your thoughts on this episode?
Personally,
Go ahead.
Personally, I think this is my favorite episode of the season thus far. I think this one is awesome. I especially love the finale. I think the finale is so good when Gannicus because you want as a viewer, you want Gannicus to join up with Spartacus and Crixus and everybody. It's like, come on, Gannicus, you got to do this. And seeing him actually just fuck up all of those Roman soldiers and chopping them into various pieces. I mean, it wasn't just, hey, I stabbed some people here. It was like, here's a message.
Stab.
It's
No.
like, here's a message, motherfucker. Here's a leg here. Here's an arm over here.
Speaking of messages, the
The
tattooed
rudest
guy,
was...
the
Yes.
tattooed guy that who was part of the Asher Force, the first man recruited to the Asher Force. He is dead. He had been following Gannicus around, basically spying on him, and they find his body in Alithia's cart with Gannicus's rudis stabbed into his neck. So the
And
message
Asher's
has
like-
been sent.
Asher's like, well, Gannicus made his decision. Okay. Okay. But, I mean, it just shows because we know from God's Ring how awesome and badass Gannicus is, and you're just kind of like, okay, now Spartacus' team is going to level up, right? Now they got a prisoner of war that's very valuable, and they have someone who can just, fuck up an entire
And they
cohort of
have
Romans.
a mini army that they didn't have like a day ago.
Yeah. So yeah, I love this. I love the whole thing with this episode, just how it was all set up and everything. My favorite one of the season for sure. Ronan.
Yes, that's a good episode, solid episode, really good. And anytime we get more of Gannicus is a more interesting character than like Spartacus or Crixus, because Spartacus is like one note. At this point, he's got a flat character arc. He doesn't necessarily change. He's become the man. First season, he became the character that he is right now. Crixus has got some growth to him, but at the same time, he still only really has one answer for anything, and that's use the hammer. Gannicus is the one who's like, I don't really have to kill these people if I don't need to. Gannicus is like bizarrely enough, the most level-headed of any champion that we have seen so far. So whenever he has an opportunity to chat and not just kill, it's interesting because you're always down to hear what he has to say, and he just doesn't take bullshit from anybody. He laughs off Lucretia telling him, "See ya, have you lost fucking mind?" And
His lines are great.
Yeah, because he just has no fucks to give about just telling anybody oh no, see, here's why you're crazy and here is why this is stupid. It's great. It's a great moment. So anytime we get to see Gannicus doing that, it's always good, which is part of why this is a great, another great episode, because we get a lot, and we're going to get a lot more of that in the next episode, because Gannicus has made a mistake in that he really genuinely does not understand what Spartacus is up to. But he's about to learn.
Yeah. Steve, your thoughts on this episode?
great episode. I think I liked the previous episode a little bit more. I think I was I just don't care about the Sepia character, so I didn't really care for her importance. So I think both of these are great episodes, but I was a little bit bigger on the
Damn it.
fuck you, Ronan, eat it. Yeah, I don't know. Great episode. I like that Agron, who up until now has been Spartacus's like right hand man, he like there's a question through this series about like, because there are multiple times where Agron goes against Spartacus's orders, or he pulls a fast one on Spartacus, just assuming that Spartacus will ultimately forgive him and go along for the ride, and you get a little bit more of that here. And among the big name gladiators, Spartacus, Agron, Crixus, and Oenomaus, Agron has actually always been my favorite. And so
Really?
I like that he's being a little weaselly this episode. This is a good Agron episode, even though it ultimately works out. But I still thought the Glaber storyline from last episode was better than what we got here.
Okay. I've always liked Agron the least. I always thought he was the
Agron
most
is
annoying.
awesome.
Nah.
Yes.
Hashtag Steve was wrong. You're wrong about Agron.
Agron is right about all of this. Everything that Agron does ends up being the correct move.
Okay. Well, we will find out
Whether or
if
not that's acknowledged in series is up for debate. But Agron was right about everything.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week. We're going to talk about Episode 8, Balance, and we'll probably also record Episode 9, Monsters, the week after that. So I can't wait. We're about
And
done
now-
with the season. Isn't that crazy? Almost over.
We are. We only have 13 episodes left of the entire series.
That's crazy. I haven't heard any news on the new Spartacus show that they announced. Every once in a while I'll Google it. I haven't seen anything other than that announcement that was a couple months ago, so...
But you know what? It's the end of the recording session, so you know what happens now.
All in blind. Yep.
Ronan, entertain the masses until this hand is over so we can go all in.
No. I'm not your monkey.
So nothing has
Steve. I'm not gonna
changed.
Well,
dance.
Ronan, what's your take on Agron?
No, I'm not on Steve's camp with that one. No, Agron
See?
does
That
does
just
not.
means you're both fucking wrong. Agron is great.
No, how? No, how? Why?
He just is.
I grant you that, like, he has a different character from, like, Gannicus, like a Spartacus, Crixus. He's clearly a different breed from them, but he also everyone constantly mentions how, like, oh well, you're just a whiny little kid. It's like, yeah, but a lot of times he does come across, kind of whiny.
Yeah.
Agron, I like that Agron is like he's very Weasley and conniving while also being one of the good guys. And when I watched this series the first time, again going all in this hand, when I watched this the first time, I didn't know. Like, I was worried. Like, is Agron going to continue to be a good guy? Because he's pushing the boundaries with Spartacus a little bit more. Is he gonna make the turn? And you'll have to watch the next episode. You'll have to watch the next 13 episodes to find out. Agron is great though.
Well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Agron's not great.
Agron is great. You piece
Like,
of shit.
between Spartacus, Crixus, Gannicus, and Oenomaus, Agron is like the worst of the 5.
Nope.
Yes.
Love Agron.
Yes.
Love Agron. Agron is great. All right, we got one player.
All right, here we go. Maybe this will be our we get multiple 7-2 offsuits.
Who knows?
Come on. All right,
Here
come
we
on, last person. I think this is the last person that has to make a decision. Yeah, you're into it.
Yeah.
You're
We're
into
doing
it.
We're doing it. Oh,
8 queen, don't like that. 9-6. King
Oh,
Jack.
fucking Steve.
Come on.
Oh.
He's got
Oh, hey,
Ronan.
hey,
Ronan's
all
starting,
right.
Kings.
starting ahead.
Give me a king. I need a king or a jack.
Fucking.
Jack.
Fuck.
Jack.
Fuck.
Oh no! But
Oh,
Ronan's got two
no.
pair.
No, the
Ronan's got
fucking
two pair.
the fuck.
Oh, now Steve's got
Oh
two
no, I
pair.
got 2 pair.
Well, but the other guy over there's got 3 of a kind.
I think that
Oh,
guy
no, he's got
full
4
house.
of a kind.
Whoa!
Oh, Jimmy does have 4 of a kind.
I told you.
Yeah. All right, but he
Fuck
didn't
him.
win the full pot.
Fuck
He
him.
didn't win the full pot.
Wow.
So money went elsewhere. I think I got the rest of that.
Fuck
I did.
you.
I got the rest of that.
Fuck you.
I think I may have broken even. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to another amazing episode of Jupiter's Crock. Join us next time where Agron will continue to be fucking awesome.
That hasn't happened yet.